Hey everybody, this is Rustin with Metalholic and the Examiner. With me today, Brother Brandon, Saller of Hell or Highwater. How you been, man?
I've been fantastic. How about yourself, bud?
Absolutely awesome. You know, I was just thinking it's been over 2 years since we last spoke. Hell or Highwater was still in its embryonic Black Cloud Collective infancy last time we spoke.
It's been a minute for sure.
Absolutely. So, well, I'm glad to get a chance to talk with you again. The debut album, Begin Again, was wonderful, and now you guys have released a new EP this week, The Other Side, that seems to pick up right where the record left off and sort of takes advantage of the new movement in the music industry to release smaller chunks more often.
Absolutely. I think for us, we kind of held off, and, even as a band can admit that I think we kind of let our fans hang on a little too long, to the first album. I think we would have liked to release some new music sooner, and just kind of we really wanted to figure out how exactly we wanted to do so. And like you said, this day and age, there's no real method that you have to use. There's no real kind of concrete idea on how to release music. It's just really for us a matter of getting new material to people who want to listen to it. So took a little longer than we would have wanted, but we're super excited to have this EP out finally, and I think a lot of our fans are really pumped as well.
Nice, and it's a phenomenal EP we're going to talk about in a second, but does this mean sort of this is going to be your trend now? You guys are going to do this more frequently with maybe more EPs and not waiting as long?
Yeah, I think being an independent band like we are, there's no one telling us what we can or can't do. So I think that, I like the idea of instead of having, 10 or 12 tracks every year and a half, 2 years, we kind of like the idea of releasing 5 or 6 songs every, 6 to 8 months, or something like that. And it gives us, it's fun for us because it lets us be creative, and it really kind of paints a more kind of relevant picture of where the band's at, and it's kind of cool. I think in the early stages of being in a band like we are, I think down the road it's going to be cool to look back and kind of see where our heads were, 6 to 8 months at a time, rather than, having years go by and kind of, having this vast difference of style and everything. So, I mean, we're definitely very kind of a band that's into experimenting and really kind of pushing the envelope of our own sound, and really still developing our sound as a band. So I think it's a good opportunity for us and our fans to kind of all grow together,
Right. Well, and that's a nice segue because you guys have had time to gel as a cohesive unit. The first album, a lot of that was you, and it wasn't the entire unit all coming together as it was here. This is more of a team effort, I believe. How did that impact the new EP in your mind?
I mean, it was great. I mean, there's only 3 songs on Begin Again that we were able to write together, and even still, it was not all 5 of us. It was maybe 3 of us at a time, and this was really a group effort, and it was great. I mean, everyone in the band is an amazing writer and really kind of brought their full weight to the table, which was awesome. And I think that it really shows. I mean, I think these songs are like you said, kind of a great extension of Begin Again, but it's definitely like you can see where we're going. And I think it allowed us to be a lot more free and just kind of think outside the box a little more with 5 kind of great minds together rather than just one. You're definitely able to get a lot more experimental and kind of really realize more what you want to do.
Right. So, and I don't believe I know actually that this isn't a concept EP per se, but it still felt like there was sort of some connective tissue on these songs, lyrically speaking.
Yeah, I think that I think just with me as a lyricist, I think that I tend to have it's not a repetitive theme, but there's always like a kind of a silver lining and a kind of hope in the way that I write, and I think that kind of comes across. And even though Begin Again, there's a lot of elements that kind of seem like they tie in, and I feel like that happens without really being me trying to do so. But it's kind of cool because I love that outside perspective on an album and people kind of seeing things that weren't even intended but are there still,
Right. Now one thing we can't do when we've got a full-on album is go through each track, but we only got 5 here, and I was wondering if you wouldn't mind if you could take us through each track and tell us not necessarily the lyrical story, because I know a lot of bands like to leave that interpretation up to the fans, but maybe the story behind the creation of the song itself.
Absolutely. We'll start song one, Moment of Clarity. Started as Moment of Clarity is actually the one song on the album that isn't a fully collaborative effort. That was a song that Neil had kind of written the music for, and he had a demo. And it was one of those really special moments that, he sent us a demo, and everyone in the band loved it exactly how it was. And it was the kind of thing where, I sat down and wrote lyrics for it in 40 minutes and put them down, sent to everyone the lyrics, and it was one of those things that was a really cool moment. That's why I put it first on the EP, is that it was all real special to us, right off the bat, and it was really dark for us and really heavy for us, honestly, and so that kind of came together, just more so me and Neil, which was that was the only time that happened on the album. So that was Moment of Clarity. Next we have The Other Side, which the other side came about. We were at practice. We were riding down in Vista where Joey lives, and Joe was sitting with his acoustic guitar, and he started playing this riff, the kind of main riff, the kind of this kind of rhythm. And it sounded funny that song was always called, the demo was always called 4th of July, because it just sounded like an American anthem to us.
Right.
And it was very kind of Springsteen-esque to us, and we just loved it. It was funny because, again, with the timing, it was like the sun had just started to go down. We're sitting outside, around a campfire at his house, and he starts playing this super American riff, and same thing. We got in the room together, kind of sussed it out, all kind of started jamming it together, and then it turned into what it is now. And that was definitely, I think that's kind of the hard left of the EP. I think that's the most different song, I think, on the EP. But at the same time, it's the one that I think connects mostly with Begin Again. So I love that song because it's kind of a cool, kind of bridges the gap between the two records,
Right.
What's next? Wrong. Wrong was an idea that Joey had. Joey had just a chorus, and I was absolutely in love with the chorus, and I kept singing it over and over again in my head. And I would walk around all the time singing it, and so I'm like, "Hey, you have that chorus? Let's work on that." So we got together and with just the chorus lyric and melody, and then the chorus music, and it kind of just piece by piece, the big heavy riff came after the chorus, the kind of re-intro and intro riff that came in, and from that point we knew that it was going to be a huge song for us, just because that kind of gigantic heavy riff had never really happened before for us.
Right.
So that kind of came next, and obviously, it came together piece by piece, but that one all started in the mind of Joey Bradford, which is awesome. And it was cool because that is a personal song to him lyrically, and he kind of put a bunch of thoughts on paper for me, that kind of in the same vein as the song. And it was cool because it allowed me to write a song about someone else's kind of feelings and someone else's experience. And it was cool because a lot of the things that he couldn't say, I ended up saying for him, it was kind of a special moment for us as a writer. A lot of these songs, there's these cheesy special moments for us as a band, but it was important for us because it really, we were growing as a group of writers, and that was definitely one of the times where it was really cool to kind of be able to write lyrics for someone else's situation and kind of actually hit what they were feeling,
Right.
So that was Wrong. Remember the Life, Not the Death. That came from a chorus. I had written that chorus, just the melody and lyrics in my head after my grandfather had passed, and I sang it for about 3 weeks and just kind of tossed it around and brought it to practice and just was like, guys, I have this chorus. I have this really kind of idea for a song. It needs to be huge and special, and it needs to pull your heartstrings and be exactly what the thought of it was meant for. And we kind of just all came together, and I think the main riff was Matt Pauling ended up kind of pulling that main kind of lead riff out. And that's one of the best solos on that song that I think we have ever had, and Matt really kind of shined through with that. I think that's one of the shining moments on the song is we all of us in the band refer to that song. We refer to that solo as the Hotel California. one of those like unforgettable, like legendary guitar solos that we're lucky enough to have the guy who wrote it. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that was wrong. So, and then
Drowning in the Waves. Yeah.
Same thing. Drowning in the Waves. I like wrote the chorus, just the melody and the lyric. I was like, I was on a run, and I lived close to the beach. I ran down to the beach, and that was the start of that. I started that chorus, and it was the same thing where I had the chorus, and then Matt came in with the kind of bagpipe sounding intro. He had done that at his house. He had it for like another song of his that he was just fucking around with, and so we used that intro, and piece by piece, again, that was another moment where like the big crushing riff came into play, and I think there's quite a few of those on the EP that's kind of like new for us and really awesome. So we're all come from a hard rock background, and there's nothing like an epic riff. So that kind of came into play again on this song too. So again, it was kind of built around the chorus and kind of just added. And then again, Matt, one of the other shining moments of that song, Matt had this kind of Irish jig sounding part, again, something he was writing all on his own, and it just so happened to fit perfectly in there and kind of gave that song like a really cool twist and exciting ending. So that's how that one came about.
Well, and it comes, I mean, it's great because there are these riffs, but there's also this sense that you guys are really coming into your own as songwriters, more in that, I don't know, that Dave Grohl or Springsteen kind of way, where you're developing these stories and these great melodies, and it's combining with the riffs. And that's sort of what I've thought that rock has been missing for a lot of years, is we went to such far extremes, and we're just now starting to come back to crafting really memorable songs. So, and it's great to see, and you guys did a fantastic job on this EP. So now,
thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Can we expect a video or two from this EP? Wrong, something else?
Yeah, we're going to be we're starting to film a video for Wrong actually next week. It'll be a little bit of a process, but it's going to be cool. Just, I mean, much like the EP, we're going to take a totally different approach to this video and kind of, take an adventure in the more kind of artistic side of film and just kind of film something cool and different for us. And so we'll start filming that next week, and then kind of see how it goes. I would love to do 2 videos for this EP, but we'll start with Wrong and see where it goes from there. Again, with being an independent band, with the kind of frequent like manner that we want to keep releasing music, it's a bit pressing and hard to kind of come up with multiple videos and stuff like that. But we definitely have the first one all planned and ready to go.
Nice. And now, nice segue, because you did this as a Kickstarter campaign again, and the response was amazing.
It was insane. Kickstarter has like opened our eyes to kind of how supportive our fans are. And we're a new band, so I mean, with my previous band, it's like I didn't see like the diehard kind of like fanatical side to fans for like 3, 4, 5 years in, and it's real crazy because we've been a band for a little over 2.5 years, almost so somewhere around there, and it's insane to know that we did our first one for the Dark One on Toward the Darkness, and we broke the goal in like 2 hours, and we ended up doing like 6 times what our goal was, and it was amazing. I would never thought that our fans would just dump money into something like that, and then when it came time to do one for the other side, it was cool because we could use it as kind of a pre-order and keep it kind of simple, but people responded really well, and I think we're really fortunate to have fans so early on that have our backs so strongly. We were able to like I said again, like quadruple our goal. More than quadruple our goal. And it made this EP possible. I mean, it'll be able to give it a chance, and we can do things like videos and try to get some of the songs on the radio and stuff like that. And without them and without this Kickstarter, we wouldn't have been able to do any of it.
Absolutely. I mean, it sort of makes you wonder with the success of this, because it's the fans that should be supporting the music anyway. Is there even a point to record labels anymore?
No, there isn't. I mean, obviously there's more money there. But if you were to take a big band, I'm just gonna pull one out of fucking left field. I'm going to take a big. If Linkin Park didn't have a record label and they said, "Hey, we're going to do a Kickstarter," and even if they just used it as a pre-order alone, it was like you can pre-order our album on this, and that's it. The potential earning for that would be endless. It'd be in the millions, which is something that a label you'd never get that from. If a tiny independent band like Hell or Highwater can raise $5,000 pretty easily to make an EP happen, like, you know, I feel like the bigger bands that are kind of coming out of contracts and things like that, I mean, I think that things like Kickstarter and crowdfunding campaigns are great because it fully cuts out the middleman. I mean, the middleman is a website that takes a percentage for your fundraising, essentially, and that's it. And I feel like you can have all the control and power in your own hands, which at this day and age is important, I think. So it's been really cool. It's been eye-opening for us and has allowed us, and I think will continue to allow us to kind of do things on our own terms.
Absolutely. Well articulated, my friend. So you've had a lot of time now to settle in as a front man because it was sort of a little nerve-wracking for you there when you first started. Tell us about your evolution. Tell us about the evolution.
I think I just got more and more comfortable. I mean, when I first started, I think I've said this before, but I mean, like, a stage is a stage is a stage for me. Like, wherever I am at on there, that's kind of my most comfortable place in life. Aside from, like, my couch sitting laying next to my wife, you know what I mean? But it's kind of thing where I think it's not that I got more and more comfortable. It's that I just got more and more used to being able to have that interaction, you know? And I think that it's gotten a lot more fun and a lot more kind of comfortable just to be out there and really be staring in the faces of people. And that's the most shocking thing, is that there's nowhere to hide. There's no room for error. And if there is error, like, the people are looking you straight in the face, and it's kind of cool because it forces you to be a better performer and a better kind of singer. And I'm getting more and more used to standing in the front of the stage and having that feel just as comfortable as it ever did, behind the drums. So it's been a lot of fun.
Nice. So, and what's going on this summer?
Plus, I literally get to walk around more. I don't stay on stage even as much as I should because I'm allowed to do whatever I want now.
Absolutely. So what is going on tour-wise this summer? You guys on any bills that we should know about, or are you just sort of doing your own thing, or?
Yeah, we're so far, I mean, we're just kind of doing these little week runs. We're on a bunch of really great festival shows with it's like 3 or 4 different shows with Avenged Sevenfold and him and Volbeat as alongside the whole Uproar lineup. So they're more kind of on the west and Midwest of the country, but we're doing those along with a bunch of just kind of one-off headline gigs. And then we're still working on stuff right now. Hopefully we'll be full U.S. back out on tour by the end of summer.
Nice.
Or like October.
Still need to get you up here to my neck of the woods. Boise gets passed over way too often. But so before we get out of here, I generally, when I'm talking about one band, don't like to talk about the other one. But since somebody's throwing crap up on Wikipedia these days, mentioning a new song from Atreyu, what is going on with the band?
There's nothing. I mean, without. I'll just say that whole thing was presented without full knowledge of the gravity of what it was.
Gotcha.
That was presented by a certain member of the band without him knowing the gravity of what Facebook does to our fans and how many people that reaches. So the discussion was never had, and the hangout session was never had, and so that was kind of like jumping the gun, if you will.
Fair enough. All right.
And it sucks because a lot of our fans question that now and are waiting, and I feel bad. So I feel bad for that, but the unfortunate situation is that was kind of just an irresponsible jumping of the gun.
Gotcha. So, well, before we get out of here, the pointless question of the week for fun on the way out the door. If you could star on any television show as yourself or as a character, what would it be?
Sons of Anarchy.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd have to do that. That's one of my favorite shows. I keep just fucking trying to get. I would just love for our music to be on Sons of Anarchy. I would be fine with that. So Kurt Sutter, hit me up. Hell or Highwater songs would sound great.
There you go.
And if you need like a big burly dude to be part of the club, I'm sure I can learn how to act well.
There you go. So you guys got to get on a tour with Attica 7 and sort of hit up Rusty Coons. He's got the in there.
Right? Exactly. I don't look nearly as badass as that dude, but I can try.
You can make it work. You can make it work for sure. Brandon Saller of Hell or Highwater. The new EP is out now. The Other Side, and of course, Begin Again. The debut album still hasn't gotten to enough ears. Everybody get a hold of that. You can find the band on all of the social media sites, and they, of course, will be on Metalholic when I post this article anyway. Thank you, Brandon, so much for taking the time to talk with me. The new EP is phenomenal, and I wish you great success, and I can't wait to see you guys perform live.
Thank you, brother. I'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Take care.